And keep that bike rubber side down.
You're there, ladies and gents. How's it going? This is quite possibly the first time you'll see me on this bike, as I don't ride it very often. And it's also quite possibly going to be the last time. This is my Ducati Sport Classic Biposto, and I'm just taking it off for its MOT, as I am planning on selling it this spring to help fund my new Triumph. Yes, the reason you haven't seen me riding this very much is because I just don't fit it. I don't really enjoy riding it. The engine is amazing, and it handles so lovely, but it's just such a reach to the bar. And having broken my back a decade ago, my back is not particularly as healthy as I would like, and I find the riding position on these cafe racer crotch rocket type stuff all a little bit much for it. I got this service the other day, all the belts and all that sort of stuff done, so once the MOT's done, then that's all the ticks in the boxes I need to be able to get an advert in the paper or wherever I put it up for sale, and hopefully get it sold before I have to pick up the Triumph, which will make life a lot easier for paying for the Triumph. This is my Ducati Sport Classic Biposto. It's an incredibly beautiful looking bike. I bought it, I fell in love with its looks. To be honest, I didn't think about the practical side of it, and only took it for a tiny little demo ride around the block from the guy who was selling it, who was its original owner. And I've had this since 2014, and I've done a criminally low amount of mileage on it. I always preferred to get the Moto Guzzi out, and the initial thoughts when I bought this bike was as a Guzzi replacement. I wanted to be able to do track days and have a bit of grunt for doing them, and I thought this would give me the looks that the Guzzi kind of fulfilled at the time when that was all standard, and also give me the grunt that I'd want to throw a bike around track. And it would do all those things, but it's just not as much of a day-to-day bike as the Guzzi was, so it just never got used, and I never gelled with it, which is a real shame considering how wonderful it handles. I mean, I've thrown this around the twisties and had so much fun doing so, and when you go and help a leather on it, it all makes sense, because it's really far forward on the controls, and Ducatis are renowned for having quite a long reach to the bars anyway, and this one is definitely no exception. It's an old air-cooled engine. It's a character engine, it's a character bike, and yes, probably not the best bike to have as a track day tour. So yeah, it just never worked out for me, which is a real shame. I also bought it as an investment, and every single Ducati Sport Classic Biposto owner I've spoken to has said yes, they are an investment, you'll make money on it, you should sell this for £11,500. But they don't sell at that price. That might be what people want from these bikes when they sell theirs, but they don't sell for that. So I'm going to be a little bit more realistic when I advertise this one this time, and hopefully that will mean I'll get realistic buyers as opposed to dreamers and tyre kickers turning up at my door. Now, it's a 10-year-old motorbike, it's 2008, so and it's been ridden on the road. It's not a showpiece, it's a bike that's ridden, a bike that's been loved and enjoyed. Anyway, we're nearly at the MOT place. If I get this MOT sorted, then maybe I'll take it for a little spin afterwards and give it a little leg stretch, as it deserves one, it really does. But the place I'm going to only does MOTs late afternoon, so it could all be right at the time when there's loads of traffic about, but we'll see. And also it might rain, because I mean, like, it's not exactly a beautiful day. The place I'm going for this MOT, they're good guys, so if they pass or fail this, it will be an honest MOT. And I always try and come to this shop for my MOTs, because I know they're awesome guys, and it's nice to keep local businesses in business by supporting them when we can. Now then, there is no big Pezza here that I can see, so we've broken that one, which is good, because every single time I've come here in the last few visits, Big Pezza's been here and thought I was stalking him. Right, let's have a quick look around this bike so you can see it. Some of the stuff on it's not standard. It's got replaced front forks which give it full adjustability, which is quite cool. It's got a little bikini fairing on it. Bar and mirrors aren't standard, and it's got the Termi exhaust pipes fitted too. Little tail tidy, but yeah, cracking little bike. I absolutely love the looks of this. It really floats my boat. It's just a shame I don't fit it. I hate being stumpy. Anyway, let's go get an MOT for it. I'm an utter pussy getting on this bike, just because one, I'm terrified of damaging it. Now I'm wanting to sell it, but also I'm just too short for it. But we have an MOT, so this bike is now fully road legal. Right, let's get it out of here then. Now it's coming up for rush hour, so yeah, I don't really see the point in taking it for a bimble now, because the traffic's just going to build and build, and it's a bit damp as well, so it would just mean that the bike will get absolutely filthy. It already needs to clean before I can market it on nice pretty pictures to put on the internet. So we'll just get it home this time, and I might give it one last leg stretch before I sell it, just to make sure everything's hunky-dory, tickety-boo, and also just have that little last ride. Although that is a fatal thing to do, isn't it? If you want to sell a bike, the last thing you want to do is actually ride the bloody thing, because something's bound to go wrong. Not mechanically, but you're just likely to end up scratching it or something like that, and that would really wind me up quite a lot. So we'll just bimble this home now and tuck it up in the garage. I'll give it a decent clean tomorrow and make sure everything on it is exactly how I want it to be looking for when I take the fresh photos for advertising it. So I'm hoping by the time this video actually goes up, the bike will actually have been sold, and if that's the case, woohoo, I now have funds to help pay for the drive when it turns up. If it hasn't sold, it will at some point, so there's no stress or whatever. I'm not worried about selling this before the Triumph comes. The only thing I'm concerned about is having room for it. But I hate selling bikes. Oh god, get off my arse, you penis. Thank you. I do like a bike with a bit of grunt, but then the Guzzi's got no more power really than the KTM, and it's far heavier. So the only, I think, advantage on performance that the Guzzi has over the KTM is on torque and smiles per miles, as it does those in abundance. I'm sorry if the camera angle isn't exactly ideal for this bike. I've been having camera angle issues with this crash helmet on all my bikes at the moment, because my camera got knocked and I just can't get it right. But on this bike, because we're so hunched up over the tank, I'm probably pointing down a little bit too much. But we'll see. We shall see indeedy. Indeedy. So when I put this up for sale, I don't know what to do. Do I take all the bits off and put it all back to standard, as best as I can, back to standard that is, and then sell the other bits individually? I could get some more money that way for it, and also it gives me sort of haggling things should someone want those bits as well as the standard bike, because I'm putting it up for a lot less than I initially wanted last year. It would be nice to have a way of recouping some of that difference. The Termi pipes should sell pretty easily. I know they're only just silencers, but I don't think you can get them for this bike anymore, so even though they're second hand, they could still be desirable from people. Now if I turn right here, at least I can give the engine a couple of revs before I put it back in the garage, rather than have it being ridden home practically on tick over. So I shall do that. Blow the cobwebs out the exhaust pipes and all that sort of stuff. Look at that bloody hole. Fucking hell. My word! This thing has smiles inside its engine. Smiles and smiles of smiles. That's a leg stretch. But anyway, as I was saying, yes, I could take some bits off this. I mean, the mirrors can come off. I might actually keep them if they're a diameter that fits other bits and bobs. So yes, there might be something I keep, because they're actually quite nice. They're very clear. They're not cheapy ones either. The exhaust pipes I should be able to sell no problem separately, so that could happen. Like I said earlier, it's got adjustable forks fitted to it. I think they're just shower ones. They're not like they're not Olins or anything daft like that. But it does mean that you can tailor this for your riding style and your weight a little bit better. So that's going to have to stay on there. I mean, I could put the original forks back in there, but I don't really see the point. I mean, like, it's a modification that is beneficial, and really I wouldn't be able to sell the forks particularly easily, just because I don't know what they were off originally. I think it was a Monster or something like that, but I don't know. Put the tail tidy back on, I could do that, but there's not really any point, because I can't sell what we've got on there, so I may as well leave the back end like it is. So I guess really the only thing I can take off is the Termi exhaust pipes and the wing mirrors, and put the standard mirrors back on. Yeah, we'll have to see, we'll have to see. But I'll get it cleaned tomorrow first and have a think. Nice. But anyway, guys and girls, snarled up in town now, traffic lights everywhere. Yeah, going to end this one just about here. You ride safe, take care, and I'll catch you all in the next one, on whatever bike that may be. Bye.
Keep that bar. Drop aside. Hey, no, you gotta keep that bar. Rubber side down.